Coming straight out of Canton, 24/7, 365. From the Hall of Fame city, this is Uncensored Football. Yo, what's up, guys? It's Zack from Uncensored Football. We're talking Dalvin Cook tonight. And before I dig into it, because there's a lot to talk about, I want to tell everybody to go to our Twitter and follow us, uncensored_FB. Follow us on Instagram, Uncensored Football. Find us on YouTube. And we are now on every single major platform podcast, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and of course, iTunes and Google Podcasts. So we're everywhere. Find us, give us a like, give us a follow, tell your friends, tell anybody that likes football or just sometimes maybe they're not a football addict, but they like entertainment because you know how we like to shoot the shit around here on Uncensored Football. So let's get at it. Let's talk about the man, Dalvin Cook. Yesterday, he announced he's going to hold out until he gets a reasonable new contract. And, you know, I don't blame this guy right now. He's only going to get paid $1.3 million this season. And he could blow his knee out again and possibly not make another cent again in the NFL. He has no guarantees. So I understand him wanting an extension. But this man also didn't play 16 games last year. He didn't play 16 games the year before. And, of course, his rookie season, he only played 4. So this guy can't stay healthy. And last year, he had an incredible season. I mean, seriously, let's chop it down. He had over 1,600 total yards in 14 games, 13 touchdowns, 53 receptions. That offense ran through him, and it was a playoff team. But what happened in San Francisco? He was a non-factor. And, you know, they really needed him that game. But still, you know, he got hurt at the end of the season. He wasn't full strength in a playoff game. They needed him. It's kind of like, was anybody surprised when Dalvin got hurt last year? I don't think so. So what does this really mean? Is he going to, you know, give in like Melvin Gordon last year? Because he has no leverage in the deal. He really doesn't. If he holds out completely, then he doesn't become a free agent next year. If he comes and plays for $1.3 million, he can be franchise tagged next year. There's going to be some sort of a deal that they meet in the middle a little bit. I don't see him getting 13, 14 million a year. There's rumors he was offered 10 million. And I think with his injury concerns, he should probably take that and run with it because Minnesota is a team that is paying their quarterback already. Kirk Cousins is making, duffel bags full of money. So it's almost insane because Dalvin Cook seems to be the more talented player, but the quarterback position is they're the lead singer. They get all the money. So anyway, let's chop it down. Like, he does sit out the season. What does that mean for Alexander Mattison, a guy that averaged 4.5 yards per carry, but that was kind of coming in and mopping up for Dalvin Cook? He also got hurt last year, and that's why Mike Boone had to be, entered to the scene. 5'11", 220. He showed a little burst. He showed good vision. I liked his strength last year. I was pretty excited, about him going forward. So anybody that owns Dalvin Cook in Dynasty, I really hope you were smart enough to get Alexander Mattison. I know I was, but don't be, it could be a tricky situation. Now, when James Conner came in for Le'Veon Bell, it was firecrackers. It was awesome. He was the shit, but we've seen it not work the same. When Ezekiel Elliott was suspended, Alfred Morris did not carry the ball anywhere near him. Justin Jackson last year didn't do it. It ended up being Eckler. So is it going to be an Eckler or a James Conner? Or is he going to be a player that just doesn't step into the role like everybody wants him to? Now, I'm also really worried about Joe Mixon, Alvin Kamara, because they're in the same exact shoes. The free agents next year. They weren't first-round picks, so they're not getting paid dick right now. I mean, they're getting table scraps from New Orleans and from Cincinnati. And I just don't see New Orleans scraping up the money to pay him. So if he holds out, I think everybody's hands are tied. Cincinnati has more. I think they have a better chance of maybe just offering an extension, getting ahead of the curve, because we haven't seen the ceiling of a Joe Mixon yet. We really haven't. We haven't seen this guy on a good offense. The way he can be used in the pass game, I mean, they need to get this man the ball in the open field. I think Cincinnati would be smart to maybe get ahead of the curve before he has a blowout season, maybe get him into a $10 million range on a 3 or 4 year extension and just kind of lock him in. Joe Burrow, the Boyd, Higgins, John Ross on the outside. They have a nice little offense, and they're building up the offensive line. So anybody out there that owns Joe Mixon, Alvin Kamara, you have to be a little scared right now. And if you own Dalvin Cook, I mean, it's a headache. I don't think he sits out games. He frankly can't take the fines. This man hasn't made enough money, and it's kind of sad how the running backs are paid right now. But I don't know if he really buckles down and wants a long-term deal, and he puts his feet in the sand and says no way, then Alexander Madison's going to be there to pick up the scraps. I just don't expect a Dalvin Cook like numbers like everybody else is. I think he would be solid, but not an outstanding, superstar like Dalvin is, which I hope he doesn't. I own him in multiple dynasties, and he's a guy that was, rearing up for a huge season, and you hate to see these things happen because, they can kill your team before it even gets started. All right, y'all, that's what I got to say tonight. Hopefully, if you got Dalvin Cook, you got Alexander Madison, and if you got Joe Mixon and Alvin Kamara, you're a little scared right now. You're a little upset. So I'm Zack from Uncensored Football. Remember, hit us on the YouTube page, hit us on Instagram, hit us on the Twitter. Check out the podcast, follow it, like us, tell your friends, hit us up in DMs, ask me questions, ask EJ, Brad questions, and we'll try to help you out, get your teams rolling for 2020. All right, later.